welcome to another life update with Average Black Girl, aka me, Danielle Mitchell. So today I want to talk about online dating and specifically Bumble and some of the tips and tricks that I've learned. So what led me to Bumble? Well, from my last update, I'm just going to kind of refresh some major key elements. So when January 1st came around, I decided that I was going to remove any and everyone from the dating list. For those that don't know, I last year took some time to work on me and figure out what were the things that I was doing wrong. And so the first thing I did was I did Calling in the One, which is a book, and I did it with a group of girlfriends. Once I finished that book, I stumbled upon Sammy Wonder, which is a relationship coach. And so she helps with single women and she helps with married women to get the spark back within their marriage. So really, anybody, I say, go to her. She's only for the ladies, so sorry fellas, but go to her. During Black Friday, I went and bought her Date Like a Diva course. It's a 4-hour video course, and it was great. I loved it, and I am now taking in her learnings and her teachings. But during that, I just learned a lot of things about me. So what are some of the things that I learned that were the mistakes that I was doing? Well, the first mistake was I was too nice and too understanding, and that has completely changed. I am only looking for high vibration men, and so therefore that is the kind of dates that I'm looking for, communication and things like that. Long are the days of teaching someone how to love me, teaching someone how to properly communicate, and just things like that. Long are the days of getting with men that are not ready for marriage, that are not ready for that next step. Not saying that they're going to be with me, but just in general. That was one of the things that I was getting with. And then also just within dating, when I go out, I get a lot of attention. I can get a lot of numbers. Like even on Bumble, I'm connected with almost 70 different people right now. And that can be overwhelming because what normally happens when you're dealing with a large amount of people is the largest person, the loudest person in the room is who's going to get your attention. And I've learned that just because he's the loudest does not mean that he's the best for you. So just changing everything about it, right? I want to say like before how a lot of people, if they saw like a Russell Wilson at first, they wouldn't want that as being ideal. And just changing my mindset. Why don't I like a good person? Why don't I like somebody that's consistent? Why is that not fun for me or exciting? And in these learnings, I understood. One of the things that why people like, the bad guys is because of the highs and lows. It's exciting when he is not acting right and then you get him to act right again. And you get high off of that high level of frequency that he gives you, and then it goes down and you're waiting for it to be high again, right? That is how I was. And talking to girlfriends, these are just certain things that a lot of people do. Even when you're dating, sometimes you'll date a guy and it'll be great for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? And then it'll go down. And women will sit and wait 90 days hoping that it'll come back. And then eventually we'll get tired of it and move on. But for me, it's paying close attention. And if that starts to go down, addressing it immediately, being aware immediately. And so currently I, don't want to be a girlfriend. I want to be a wife. So therefore, I've had somebody ask me to be their girlfriend already. I've declined. I'd rather continue to rotational date, which is what we're going to learn, what you learn when you look at Sammy. I continue to rotational date and continue to literally, a man will take up your time if he wants to be with you and not want you to be with anyone else, and he'll continue to move forward. So from Bumble, I have met 2 really great guys so far. And one is definitely standing out. Everything he's doing is amazing. And we were already connected on Facebook, but we weren't communicating. So Bumble is how I met him. I'm going to just talk about Bumble. So the first time I got on Bumble, I really wasn't into it too much. I was whatever, it's Bumble. What's the difference between Bumble and Tinder and everybody else. And so what do I like about Bumble? One, what I like about Bumble is that random men just can't message you. You have to connect. First, there needs to be a match. And then the woman has to then send a message first, and then they can connect with you. Which for me helps because, like I said, I do get a lot of attention. And I also want certain things. So like for me, I am not interested in dating anyone that has already started a family. AKA, I don't want any baby daddies. So I will put on Tinder like, hey, I'm not looking for men that have children. And men with children will still hit me up like I don't follow the rules or something like that. And it's like, okay, cool, but you're not listening to what I want. So with Bumble, you can filter. So that is the major key. When I first got on Bumble, I didn't know that you could filter. I didn't have any filters. So I was getting like a wide age range and literally anything. And so with Bumble, you can filter 2 different ways. And so if you're someone like me that honestly, I just want my equal. I don't have any kids. I don't want a man with kids. I have a career. I want a man with a career. So what did I do? I filtered 2 different ways. One, you can filter by education level. And so I filtered with education. I'm looking for someone that has a college degree. So I have undergraduate. Let me pull it up so I can tell you exactly what I have going on here. Okay, so you can set advanced filters. You can add up to 2. So you can filter, let me just give you the filters. You can filter with height, do they exercise, what is their star sign, what's their education. You can filter if they drink, if they smoke, if they have pets. And then you can also filter from their Bumble date, like what they're looking for. So if you want to say you're looking for a relationship, something casual, don't know yet, or marriage, you can also filter if they want children. You can say want someday, don't want, have and want more, or have and don't want more. And you can filter with their religion. So for me, I filtered off of education. So if they have an undergraduate degree, if they're in grad school, if they have a graduate degree. Those are the ones that I picked. The options are in college, tech or trade school, or high school, right? So I just picked that. I just want those 3. If they have an undergraduate degree, if they're in grad school, or if they have a graduate degree. The next thing that I filtered was kids. I said that they want someday. So I literally have in a matching with nothing but educated men that have a career that are not baby daddies. Like, it's amazing. It's exactly what I want, right? So a lot of times you hear people will be like, well, you're getting older, you know, you should have picked earlier if you didn't want nobody with kids, you're missing on your blessing, blah 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 blah. And with this filter, like, literally, I said already, I'm connected with 78 people, almost 70 people, or 68 people, almost 70 people that literally fit my criteria, right? Like, some gon' shake. But even if nothing does, which I'm sure it will, like I said, I already have found 2 really great guys, and one that I'm just like, he's really doing everything that he needs to do to, you know, properly court me like a woman. But even if that doesn't work out, like, there's so many more. And so I just want to sit there and talk to someone that needs to hear this. You're not too picky. You knowing exactly what you want and what you want from a relationship and what you want in a mate is only going to help you to be more specific and to get what you want faster. And a lot of times we do things like date outside, our type and everything out of levels of desperation. And when I say type, I'm not saying if you only want like a light-skinned man or a dark-skinned man, like, that's different. That's very superficial. But a person that has decided to start a family before marriage, that is a lifelong commitment of you being able to be a part of somebody's childhood. That's different. Someone that, you know, doesn't have a career, providing your livelihood is something that's super important. Now, how tall he is, or, you know, if he has a 6-pack or not, like, that's really up to you. But these main things that a lot of people, especially Black people, will try to tell you, like, you're too picky or whatever. Like, there's so many times that I've gotten, like, snide remarks, especially on Tinder, like, I would reach out to you, but I see that you don't want kids, or we could have been so much greater, or that's why you single. They love to do that. And it's like, no, like, I don't want to deal with that. And there's nothing wrong with me wanting to do things in the right way. There's nothing wrong with me wanting to be a mother to my children. That you've decided to do that and not marry the father or the mother of your children, and now you have this situation. I chose not to do that, so don't make me out to be the bad guy because I don't want your situation. That's the quote from Jordan Woods, right? So I just want to let you guys know that I will definitely hop on here next week and let you kind of get an update on what's been going on with my dating life. But for those that I think need to hear this, it's about to be springtime, and if you're like, oh, I don't have anybody, it's okay. Get on Bumble, girl. Just keep swiping. What I did when I first started, I would sit here and I would swipe 100 swipes because I like a certain type of person. And for me, like, if you're not physically attractive to me, I won't even try, because I've done that before. I've tried to date somebody that, like, I literally wasn't physically attracted to. And it's different, right? It's one thing to be like, I only want a fine man, right? It's another thing to, like, I just can't even imagine myself kissing you. Don't do that. So I will swipe. I'll sit there and I'll just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if they match or not, it doesn't matter. I'm just literally doing 100 swipes. When I do that, then the data allows me to, it's like getting to know what I like and what I don't like. And then as you do it more, I think that the app is smart and it learns, like, what your likes are and what your dislikes are, and it'll definitely help you. But don't just get on there one time or once a week or whatever. Literally keep swiping and stuff, and you can always unmatch with people if they're not what you wanted or not what you were looking for and stuff like that. But that is one of the things that I do. Like, make it a part of your day. Do it for at least like 3 weeks, right? Do it for at least a month and swipe regularly, at least a couple times a week. And for me, what I like to do, and this is just what I like to do, I like to FaceTime the person before we meet, because a lot of times a lot of guys just don't take really good pictures. And so you could be like, oh, I don't know. And then he FaceTimes, you're like, oh, okay, he's cute. Or, people do catfish. So it's good for you to just kind of get that out the way before you meet someone. That's one thing that I've done. But a lot of people don't want to do that because they don't want, people to have their numbers. So it's up to you. That's just something that I have done. And so far it's worked for me. And that buffer just really helps, because after FaceTiming with someone, I can be like, oh, this isn't going to go anywhere, and there's no need to meet up. Or I can be like, okay, cool, I feel more comfortable with this. Always meet up in person and in a public place when you meet up in person for the first time. Just ladies, just be safe and be cautious. But other than that, I think that this is great, and I wanted to show you guys what I was doing. And so keep that high vibration, keep that positive attitude, keep that feminine energy, and keep going. Go out there. You totally got this. All right, guys, leave your comments below. What are some of the tips that you've done with Bumble? Do you have any stories, any success stories, or even like horror stories? Let's share what we've learned so we can help each other. And I hope you get exactly what you want in 2019. Bye, guys. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, bang that notification bell, and I will see you in the next episode.